You mentioned Trace and Eagle staff, and I think before we get into that, let's kind of discuss a little bit about what maybe started that domino effect happening. Lamar Wilkerson yesterday committed to Indiana, right? And for a while, for most of the weekend, it felt like Lamar was trending towards Kentucky, that was going to be where he ended up going, that was going to end up being the place that he would be committing to. And that's not where he went. He is committed to Indiana. He is joining a program that already includes Tucker DeVries, and he's getting paid a pretty healthy sum of money to be able to head to that program. What did you make of his commitment yesterday and his decision? And how surprised were you that he picked Indiana over Kentucky at the end of the day?
A little surprised, but I think, again, listening to him, I understood it, right? You're getting similar money at these places, and you're saying to yourself, you know what? I got a chance to make a huge impact at Indiana. I can be a starter. I can be a 30-minute-a-game guy and a guy that they're really depending on. Where if I go to Kentucky, yeah, like I could be that guy, but I could also be that guy that gets 15 minutes off the bench. They've got far more competition right now. You're looking at all the names and guys. I mean, Otega Owe put his name for the draft, but I would assume he's more likely to come back.
He's probably back.
You look at – right? I mean, you would think he's back, wouldn't you?
Yep. My read on it is this, that, you know, I think he said, the quote that got picked up that he said in our interview with him yesterday was, I don't want to go to Kentucky and just be another guy, right? And I think people are misinterpreting that. If you look at what Kentucky's roster is right now, there are a lot of players in that kind of 2-3 mold, right? Otega Owe, Jasper Johnson is a guy that is going to be competing with him for minutes. Cam Williams is a guy that's going to be competing with him for minutes. Like there's a lot of
Colin
Chandler,
Trevor Noah.
Trent Noah. Yep. There's just a lot of there's a lot of bodies in that role where even if you end up winning the starting job, you might be looking at like 22 minutes a game, right? Whereas with Indiana, he is going there, and it's going to be him and Tucker DeVries at the 2 and the 3. They want to get a kind of a ball dominant driving point guard that can get into the lane. They have Reed Bailey from Davidson committed there, and they're looking for a stud 5-man to put with him. And all of a sudden, you got a team right there that it is set. You know what your role is going to be. You know what your minutes are going to be. You know how you're going to play. And the question is that. The question that he had was, what is the clarity on what my role is going to be if I enroll there? And no matter what Pope said, it's just impossible to be able to provide that. And like, look, let's call a spade a spade. Right? Like the number from Indiana was a bigger number than what Kentucky had, right? And there's like a relationship aspect there, but that played a part of it as well. But at the end of the day, like it was clarity on what the role and the position that he was going to be. And I don't want to hear this. One of the things that I think fans don't understand is like, why would you want to go to a place that you don't know if you're going to win? Well, every single player that is like this good, that has worked themselves into this position they don't believe that they're going to go somewhere and suck, right? Like he believes he's going to be going to the tournament and competing for championships no matter where he goes. Every player that's in the portal thinks that. So he's like, I'd rather compete for championships and get 33 minutes a game and know I'm going to be getting this many shots in this many positions, as opposed to saying like, yeah, but I could end up getting 15 minutes a game off the bench in a place where they're going to play 11 or 12 guys, because that's just what Pope does. So I think that there's a little bit of undue criticism that is coming from something that was said that was maybe a little bit a little out of context.
I think he also was trying to say that like he wants to go somewhere and get a program back. Like that was important to him. Is the sales pitch from Darren DeVries is like, hey, Indiana hasn't been very good for a while. They've been mediocre for a long time. You can be a part of something here to be beloved. And not that you can at Kentucky, but it's been done over and over and over. I mean, they went through a tough stretch for a few years in the tournament with Cal, but for the most part, Kentucky's been very good for the last 15 years. He knows that. Lamar Wilkerson's grown up with Kentucky being Kentucky and Cal and all this, and sees them on TV all the time. His view of Indiana is not our view of Indiana. You know, he can get him relevant again nationally. That I'm sure he's thinking that's an aspect in all this as well.
Yep. So he committed to Indiana yesterday around 3:00. This morning, we woke up and Trayson Eaglestaff, you were breaking the news at Trayson Eaglestaff, North Dakota transfer, averaged 19 a game, shot 37% from three on 7 attempts per game, had the 50 burger in I think it was the Summit League tournament, right? And went for 40 in a game against Alabama earlier this year, that he was decommitting from South Carolina. Am I correct to connect those dots, Jeff, and say Kentucky just missed on this 6'6" shooter, and now they see this 6'6" shooter that has committed but hasn't signed anything, and maybe I can go get that guy?
I think you're incorrect. I think you're actually incorrect in this.
Wow.
Yes, I think you're incorrect. I don't think it's Kentucky. I think the leader right now, from what I'm told, is West Virginia and Ross Hodge, new coach Ross Hodge, who came from North Texas. I think right now that the Mountaineers are the favorite for Trayson Eaglestaff. I think Kentucky certainly can be in the mix. I think two other schools to watch for here that have deep pockets are BYU and Washington as well. But I would say, again, if I'm a betting man, I'm betting on Trayson Eaglestaff ending up in Morgantown right now and playing for new head coach Ross Hodge. I think there's a connection there, between Hodge and his camp, a strong connection as well. And again, it's crazy how this works out, though. You think about it, like he was one of the first guys to commit. Right? He was one of the first guys, big-time guys. He went in early, committed to South Carolina. From what I'm told, I'm sure money is playing a factor here too. But I think he was well compensated at South Carolina for the deal that he committed to and signed. I think it was more a fit as much as anything else. I'm not sure they were ecstatic, his camp was, with maybe some of the other players they brought in around him at this point, whether it was not enough talent or the talent they brought in, maybe his role. But I think West Virginia is the leader right now.
Interesting. That is not one that I expected to hear. But it makes sense. Look, Ross Hodge is a hell of a coach. Ross Hodge is the guy that comes from the Grant McCasland School of Coaching. So don't be surprised if West Virginia gets going pretty quickly. I'm
not doing that again. Yeah, I'm not doing the I'm gonna go against anybody in the Grant McCasland that tree, the Scott Drew, whatever it is tree. Like I'm all in on those guys.
Yep.